Hello and welcome or welcome back. This is What Heather Did, and I am Heather. And today, I'm gonna tell you. So, this piece was originally going to be part of a Spring Renew challenge back in April. It's like a refresh renew challenge where you took a piece that had already been painted and then you refreshed it. And I was like, oh yes. And I was working on it. I was really almost done, and and then I made some design changes, and then the end of the semester hit, and I got so busy. And what's even funnier is I actually had two pieces that I was working on. I was like, I'm gonna finish one or both of these, and it's gonna be I can choose, and I didn't finish either of them. So, but I finally finished it, and this is a piece that was painted by me. It was actually from my very first video. It was a two-tiered side table that I had bought off Facebook Marketplace for like $15. Some damage to it, some pretty serious damage, so I'd fixed it and made it all look new. And there's some things looking back that design-wise I probably would have changed and done differently. But so I have to tell you, so I finished it and I was so happy with it, and I posted it for sale, and I got a little bit of interest, and then I was working on something else, and I didn't put this somewhere out of the way that it would be protected, and I hit it and damaged one of the legs. Like, it just took there's a little ding in the leg. So I took the post down, sat there waiting for me to fix it. I finally fixed it. I was like, yes, it's fixed. So I reposted it, and I hadn't been posted like a day or two, and I'd gotten a couple is this available kind of things. And then I got some stain on it from another project. And it just splattered on it because I didn't learn a lesson, and I didn't put it somewhere safe. So, oops. Mistakes. Hopefully I learned from that, and I won't keep repeating this. So I took the post down again, and it's just been sitting there waiting for me to go, okay, let's actually fix this. And I tried washing it off, and it didn't want to come off. So now I am fixing it. So stay tuned. Enjoy. My dog he's being a puppy. So stay tuned, enjoy, and let's find out what Heather did today. So here is the table after I'd finished it the first time, which got a lot of interest, but I'd damaged it once, and then it sat there until I fixed it, and then I messed it up again because I was just being stupid. So I finally just was like, whatever, I'm not doing anything else, just leaving it. So this is where we're starting. Also, look at the puppy. This is Ollie, and Hippie's in the back. Chewy, chewy, chews. And this will seem like he's smaller than some of the later clips, because he is. Alright, so the first step, obviously I cleaned it, and then I gave it a very light scuff sand. I didn't want to take off the top coat and have to deal with all that, but I just kind of scuffed it up a little bit. And then I'm going on with Slick Stick. I'm going to make sure all my paint sticks by using Slick Stick. And I did 2 coats total. Again, with Slick Stick, you don't really have to worry on the first coat about it being perfect in all directions and all that stuff, but you do want it to be smooth, but you don't have to be perfect. So I went through and did 2 nice coats, and you'll get even coverage, you can see here. And then I gave it a light scuff sand. This is just to even it out, make sure I don't have any, it's not even a scuff sand really, it's just a nice light sanding, and to make sure I don't have too many brush strokes or anything like that. Everything's smooth and even, no lumpies or bumpies. I did have somebody tell me that it looks really nice white. I should leave it white, but I was not going to leave it white, so. But after I had done my Slick Stick and let it dry overnight, I went in with Yankee Blue. I did wipe it down, wash it down after sanding it. And I'm going to use 2 different brushes. So I'm misting it Did get it a little bit too damp, but it's okay. It's better than it drying too fast on me, because that doesn't look good. I'm going to use two brushes. I'm going to use that zebra brush with the rounded top, and then this little detail brush to get in the corners, and then just along the details, so that one, I can get the paint in there. Two, if the paint kind of builds up, I can, after I paint, I kind of wipe through it to make sure that it's not like gloopy in there. And I'm really fast at painting. Now, what you'll notice through this video is, because my camera likes to, I guess, fix colors, is the color seems to shift, but it's like this navy blue. It's really pretty. Also, the dogs are going nuts in the background. In reality, they were just kind of following each other around, but Hippie right there, she doesn't really like to sit still. She just kind of paces. So, again, a nice thin coat. Doesn't have to go on perfect. It's better to get several thin coats than to just kind of gloop it on. Okay, so this was funny because I'm like trying to record and then I realize I'm completely out of frame. So then I adjust it and cut off the recording, and then I'm out of frame again. And I don't know what was happening. Also, this charcoal color that it looks is not what it's supposed to be. This is my phone fixing it. And I haven't done the details here either, you can see. Seriously, dog. Go. Seriously, dog. Now, I'm working on the second coat on the top, which I realize keeps going in and out of focus. But again, just quick coat, get it on, smooth it out. You don't have to put it on too thick each time. And notice again, my phone decided it shouldn't be blue. It didn't want to make anything blue, which is funny because sometimes things look too blue. This is kind of a like spot paint for coat 3. I'm just getting the spots that needed a little bit more instead of doing a full coat. So kind of 2.5 coats in certain places. Now, the first time I did this, I used the edges. No, I made the edges gold. The edges and the details gold. And I was like, I am not abandoning this idea. We're going to have gold. This piece deserves to be gold because it's fabulous. But I decided to go with gold leaf. So I'm applying the gold leaf glue. And then you can tell it's ready when you can touch it, but it doesn't make your hand sticky. Like if it's not ready, everything will get sticky. And you don't want that. And then for the legs, I didn't trim the sheets. I just left them whole and then stuck it on there. Kind of hope for the best. And the thing about the glue is anything will stick to it until something's over it, like the gold leaf, and then it's not sticky anymore, which is amazing. And the way gold leaf is, and the way it works, it just kind of smooths out so nicely, is it doesn't matter that like there are these gaps that you missed the first time. You just take some of the excess gold and then just push it in the spots you missed and spread it around, and you'll never notice. And you just get a soft brush. You want it to be like bristles are stiff enough that they'll actually kind of brush it on, but you don't want it to be too stiff because then it can kind of scrape. I don't know, burnish? I don't know. I didn't like it as much. You don't want to scrape it too much. And then I just use that to kind of push stuff in. And took the excess pieces and just smushed them in with my brush. And then I had a little piece that I was kind of tearing small pieces off of, and that's what I did there. I just kind of tore them off in little pieces until I could kind of tuck them into where I needed them. And you just use the brush to kind of smoosh it on in. And I just look, it's so pretty. My kids are slamming doors. Yay. Okay, now, if you notice, the leg hadn't been completely painted because I wanted to kind of blend down into the gold. I didn't want this solid line. I wanted to blend down into it. So to blend it, I just painted and then got my hand in the way. And at the gold like transition line, I just kind of tapped. So it's not going to be solid. It's kind of tapped, and you can see the gold through the paint. And I should have muted my conversation. But you can see the gold through the paint, but at the same time, it kind of blends that transition. So that's what I did there to kind of blend it together instead of having a solid line. What do you think about the gold? Eek, I'm loving it. Okay. And then for the edges, I trimmed it down to make smaller strips so that I was just putting the strips on the edges. The one thing I will say that I really should have done a little bit better is watched where I got the glue a little bit more, been a little bit more careful there. And again, I just went back and forth with pieces of gold leaf until I got the coverage I wanted. But I do wish I'd been more careful with the edges, so this line along the top was a little bit straighter. And then use your paintbrush to just take off the excess gold. It is very messy, but it was wonderfully messy. You can see gold going everywhere. We had gold everywhere. Like, I was covered in gold. The floor was gold. Everything was gold. The piece was gold. I used the paper to kind of push it down so I wasn't just using my hands, and just kind of smoothed it out a little bit better. And then I used my hands. You know. Now, here's where I took the brush. You can see it's kind of laying there. It's not actually stuck. It's just staticky, so it doesn't want to come off easily. So I just took the brush and brushed in all different directions. Ollie was chasing his tail, and Hippie wanted to play, so she brought him his rope. Can you believe how big he's getting? He's such a big guy now. Okay, so genuinely at this point I thought I was done, so I started brushing on some top coat. I'd given everything like a little sand to make sure it was smooth, and I'm using the little brush to kind of clean up the edges and do that little corner right there. And again, it's polyacrylic, don't overwork it. But y'all, then I found this. Look at this. Is that not the most perfect thing? I did worry that the gold wouldn't look good with it, or that the blue wouldn't, that it was just not going to look good. So I went ahead and put it on, and I did kind of rub some of it off right there. But I was speechless. I was so in love with this. It's so beautiful. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to put transfers directly on the paint and not over a top coat. So there were some problems making sure it went down. But I was so in love with it. I was like, we're going for it. It is perfect. So I cut off the ones that I wanted. I was just going to do the big ones. I thought about doing more, but I didn't. I kind of liked the way that just a couple looked. Also, look, I have these, look at how small these scissors are. all of my good scissors have disappeared. So I have my kids' scissors, while my kids have my scissors somewhere. That's how that goes. And then I started kind of playing around with where I wanted to put the transfer, like where exactly did I want it to sit. And, oh, I forgot I talked about these. These are the two different burnishing sticks I had. I bought one for another transfer that I still haven't used, but it's so pretty. I had to buy it. And so I'm gonna see with both of them and kind of see, which one goes better. And then I'm just kind of playing with the placement of where I want it. Get that all decided on where exactly I want it. And then what you do is you start pulling off the plastic or backing and just sticking it down to where you want it. Now, because I didn't apply this to paint, it isn't quite as sticky like as it would be. I probably could have pulled this up before I really started pushing it down, but you still want to make sure you have it where you want it. And then this was really just pushing the air bubbles out because it took a lot to get this to stick. And again, I think it was because I had already top coated. But you just change directions and then adjust. Now, you have to just kind of go real slow with this. And you burnish it, lift it up, see how it's going, place it back down, and just keep going. And when something is really stuck and you've removed it from the paper or the plastic, you'll be able to tell. See, you can see how it changes colors. You can tell. And look at this. It's so perfect. I have some little edges right there, then where you can see it's kind of clear looking. I'm going to push that. I'm going to put the paper down, take the corner of the burnishing sticks and really just go after those to push those down and get that air out really well. And then I went over with a very fine sanding pad, just to kind of finish it off. And it looks so perfect. But then I decided that the gold looked a little bit too gold. So I'm going to do a little paint washing with in the navy. I do realize I could have used black wax, but I didn't want to. I wanted to do this. So just very watered down paint, spray it. Take a wet rag, it's a damp rag, and just kind of blot it. I even had a dry rag, and I just kept doing it until I liked it. Now, if you are enjoying this content and you want to support my channel, the best thing you could do for me is like this video, share this video. That helps get my video to more people. Subscribe if you haven't and you feel I've earned your subscription. If you would like to support more, although you absolutely don't have to because I appreciate you just liking my video and watching it, I do have links for my Amazon wish list and my Buy Me a Coffee. And I do have links to my other socials down in the description below. I think I may change it to Buy Me a Chew Toy just because the chew toys for dogs, they just add up so fast. But look how this is just the edge, the way that the transition is changing, and it's just muting that gold. And oh, I love the way this looks so much. It is perfect. And if you've ever wondered what's going on in the background,
Get out, swung the hasp, and hung the lock over
audiobooks.
it. A breeze
Audiobooks
ruffled my hair.
On in the background. This is Fairy Tale by Stephen King. It's so good. It's so good. And here's just a close-up. I loved the way this transformed it. And it wasn't a huge difference. It was just a touch. But I liked it. And I also think it made it work with the slightly different gold of the transfer as well. I just think it went really well. So I would like your opinion. What do you think about the paint wash? Was it a good idea? Maybe not a good idea? What do you think about my color? I want your opinion. What do you think? Comment below. What do you think about this? The only thing I can't take is you not liking that transfer, because that transfer is perfect. Okay, so I decided to spray the next layers of top coat, and that Snorlax desk I just did is actually right beside this, all getting top coated at the same time. So the body of this got like 2 quick coats. The top had already gotten a couple coats brushed on, as had the body. So I sprayed 2 good coats on the top, and then I gave it a little bit of a scuff sand and then brushed on 1 more coat on the top, so it was really well protected. And when you're working with polyacrylic, I did have 1 spot that got kind of drippy and looked bad. So I sanded it, did a little spot paint, and then a little spot top coat, and it blended in and looked fine. So you can fix it. All right, now here's what it looked like before I decided to redo it. And here's what it looks like now. What do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts on it below. Again, I love that transfer. It's gorgeous. And as always, thanks for watching, and stay tuned so you can see what Heather does next time.